Salute, salute, salute. I thank the universal truth and the absolute laws of nature for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. A divine mind knows, a divine mind shows all things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Peace and power to the people that struggle. What's going on? As you come on in, please know that this is a safe space. Know that this is a space for learning and getting learned up. Know that this is a space for educating and being educated. Know that this is a space for intelligence. This is a space for questions, answers, comments, concerns, dialogue, conversation, reasoning, as the dread man say, right? The Abuna would say, we're reasoning here. You dig? Know that this is a space of love, all on a path to true liberation. Excuse me. As my classroom assistants come on in, please make sure all funding information is in the chat for the duration of the chat. Please make sure all contact information is in the chat for the duration of class. Okay? Please encourage people to join class. Yeah, man, every few hours my subscriptions is going down. Yeah, every few hours. I'm like, damn, how can you go backwards? Anyway, please, if you or anybody you know is in need of anger management, book an assessment. If you're already under my fold, man, get your sessions in. I can't tell you how many people believe that coming to class is a session. You may enjoy it. It may get you through your day, but it is not the true therapeutic space. Get your sessions in or end up on the news. Simple as that. Okay? If you or anybody you know is in need of domestic violence intervention, please book an assessment. Find out the alerts, the warning signs. Know exactly what you need to know to survive and thrive. Remember, the life you save could be your own. Trust and believe that. Okay? Now, excuse me, as I'm trying to get it all together, as I'm in between spaces, I'm trying to hit and run. I got to cross the bridge. I got to do a whole lot of things. First off, today, the 9th, born, January 9th, is the born day of my true day one. Mr. Derek O'Neill, happy born day. We have been friends. We have been buddies. We have been confidants. We've been, man, since the 4th grade. The 4th grade. So I want you to reflect on the growth. Reflect on who you have become as a man, as a father, as a husband, as a grandfather, as a cousin, as an uncle. Reflect on all the joy. Reflect on all the education. Reflect on all the support that you have been giving everybody. Your comeback in your health crisis. Enjoy your day. And I mean that. I mean that from the soul. My day one. Enjoy your born day, King. I'm most appreciative that you are in my life. Okay? So before we even get into all that, I had to let that be known. Okay? Big Derek. Yes, sir. All right? I need y'all. Man, I need y'all to tag Katt Williams because he hummer stunting. I definitely didn't want to touch it, but I got to. Tag Jonathan Majors. Yeah. Tag him. Somebody tag Judge Judy. She done bumped her damn head. Yeah. And tag your classmates. Please tag your classmates. Please encourage them to get to class so they don't make this list. Hold on. Let's get to business. Nina, you're in the building. I see you. I see you. Yes, I do. And you get the first 55. Yeah. Hold that. Sade, you in the building. How is baby girl doing? I hope she's back up on her feet. Salute coming from the big star. Yes, D. Haven, much appreciated. Power dollars for a man who speaks powerful. Peace, almighty. Classes in session. Yes, it is, D. Haven. Salute, much appreciated for the super chat. Hakim, you up in the spot. Tierra, yes, I see you. Rogie Hauser, what up, Rogie? Yes, A. Wood. Damn, A. Wood. Yeah, A. Wood with the wrench and shit. Body, what? Mark Lewis, what's going on? Zone 864. Hey, K Stone, what's going on? I see Tony G. Uh-oh, home from work today. You should have been home from work yesterday. 55. Darrell back in the building. Consecutive classes. Yes. Yes. Michael. Oh my goodness. Hey, Michael. Peace and power. You made it to class. 55. Vaughn Joyner. 55. Sultan Thomas. Walaikum assalam. Warakmatullah. Wabarakatuh. Cousin. And we send healing to the community, to the Islamic community in Newark, New Jersey that was affected by the murder of Imam. We send our healing and condolences to that community. Dank Nitty, what's going on? Merk Lowe, what up? Jeff Sparks, what up? Nadeem Rogers, we got London, we got the UK, we got Brixton, we got them in the building. Nadeem Rogers, what up? Sean Jenkins, what's going on? Rick Gatlin, we see you. Uh-oh, see Bliz is in the building. Kenny Mack, what's going on? DC in the building. Freddie, 55. Yeah. Vitamin Vision TV, 55. Yeah, George Johnson in the building. Uh-oh. Hey, Washington in the spotty spot. Underground 1. TC, what's going on? Uh-oh. Ronald Toussaint. Yes, indeed. Uh-oh, Jean. What's going on? Huh? Alaikum assalam. I see you in the spot. Barbara Williams, you here? 55. Yeah. Construction site media. Peace and power. What's going on? Uh-oh. Demond Elmore, you made it here? 55. Hold that. Yeah, we ain't playing. Mike Nice, 55. Lake Charles. Boy. Oh, yeah, Freddie, you gonna get a 55. Don't have me backtrack on your attendance, Freddie. Remember, I got classroom assistants. They taking attendance. Yes. Let's get to it. GB, what's going on? And I do this my way. Don't know about anybody else and how they run their spaces. This is our class. This is how we run it. 10 minutes in, and it is what it is. If you're new to class and you don't get it, and you don't have that community involvement, where everybody is a part of this, then that's on you. We building here. This is a united front. We're changing our mindset deeply. So our numbers could keep going down. It is what it is. Okay, let's get to it. First of all, I really didn't want to touch the cat. I really didn't want to touch it. So we're going to push him to the back. Yeah, we'll get to them later. Let's deal with Judge Judy. Because, man, I always had a dislike for not only her show, but all of these courtroom shows, all of these judge shows. I have a true dislike for them making light of the criminal justice system. That speaks to where we are as a society, to make light of this prison industrial complex, to the misrepresentation and the mismanagement of the imbalance of the scales of justice. It's a smack in the face, especially to people who are always on the wrong end of it. So I don't like it. I never liked cops. You understand what I'm saying? I never liked the scared straights and then especially this 90-day jail shit. This shit makes a mockery. It is disrespectful. We as a society should not be intrigued with jail and imprisonment, but we are. It's been part of the conditioning. It is, again, a psyop. Remember, they had enslaved people here, indigenous people from the continent, all over, in a space where they made it okay. Late Charles, salute, much appreciated for the green screen. They made it okay for us to understand and become implicit in chattel slavery, in Christianity, in whips, in chains, in buck breaking, in Jim Crow. Do you understand? This is not anything to make light of. But when you're conditioned to do it, when you begin to not fully understand your role in it, their role in it, it's very damaging. So this elder on the bench speaks spicy. People like her and her delivery. Okay? They really do. They find her funny. In the few times that I've watched the show, never found her appealing. Don't understand for the life of me why she is the number one when it comes to the plethora of courtroom shows. Mind you, many of them aren't judges at all. Right? Maybe because she is, they push that. Corey Grant, salute for the green screen, because she is actually a jurist. Okay? Maybe that's why they flock to watch that. But recently, we've witnessed, right, the super melanated strength of a man in a court hearing who used his powerful calves, thighs, hamstrings, midsection to leap over and handle one of these women in the position of being judge and authority over him and seek his own justice in the matter. Gressler Global Hustler, salute, much appreciated for the super chat coming in from Zurich, Switzerland. We watched him seemingly fly and not only fly, but fly with precision to land on his target. See the head and the hair, and she just fall out of screen. Precision that we haven't seen since Space Ghost. Precision that we haven't seen since the Hulk. He-Man. Precision. Leap. And seemingly fly. Boom! Right on top of. Just when she thought that it was going to be just another day. Had a bad day. Caught a headache that day. Okay? Yeah. Gonna have second thoughts for sure. No doubt about it. But we'll get that and come back to the amazing event that was a little bit later. But let's deal with Judge Judy. She was asked on another show, right? These things, right, that have been used as propaganda very effectively against our people. Entertainment news, right? I remember when Entertainment Tonight first aired, telling you, when you have age on you and experience, you can recall this shit. People did not care about Hollywood and celebrity like that. It was forced. They had to force these things on the society to rock people to sleep. Okay? So now she's giving an interview and person asks him, did you see what happened in court? What happened to the judge? And Judge Judy was very firm. Very firm. Do y'all hear me? She was very firm, right, in what was said. Nina, I appreciate everything you're doing. But what I'm seeing 73 in the building, 46 likes. I don't want you to be disturbed by that. Trust and believe we have no power over this. The only thing we can do is encourage people to subscribe on your Facebooks, on your IGs, on that X, on whatever you, TikTok, whatever. Because I'm telling you, I'm losing subscribers every hour. So don't allow that to disrupt you. Okay? Definitely appreciate it. Don't let it disrupt you. So now, they asked Judge Judy And she says, matter-of-factly, I'm surprised that he was able to get that far. I'm surprised that he wasn't shot. What? Hold up, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now, I've been in many courtrooms. D. Haven's been in many courtrooms. Man, there's quite a few of us in class that have been in many courtrooms from as young as we were. Family court, Brooklyn Supreme, Manhattan Supreme, federal courts, right? I have seen individuals throw tables. I've seen individuals run towards the jury, run towards the DA, slap up, punch their lawyers. I've seen somebody come through with shanks and try to cut witnesses or their co-defendant. Never have I seen anybody pull a gun in court, in my experience. The only time in recent history that we have seen that was the brother in ATL. And they didn't bust shots at him. And he bodied the judge and a court officer and made it outside and was recaptured alive. Not one shot lipped off. How dare you, in this climate and with what took place, be startled, shocked, and insinuate that he should have been clapped? An unarmed man. Now, I can tell you why she was surprised that he got there, okay? Because of how it's set up. Like I tell you all the time, I don't make it my business to lean on that experience in the justice system because I don't believe that it's going to serve purpose to my end result. My end result is prevention. Prevention of anybody believing that that is okay. Because we have gone through it for a century plus, because we understand and have been involved in it for this many years, that we can create movies and write books and have this criminal lifestyle, it's really served us no true purpose to be enhanced in it. So I don't get it. You know, I see dudes making their whole platforms about it. But what's the solution? What's the end result? You get what I'm saying? How do we move in a space where we're not affected by it? Okay? Am I still here? Y'all hear me? Because, again, we lost half of the class. Now it jumps back up again. You understand what I'm saying? But I want y'all to understand something here, right? And we're going to get into it. All right? There's specific dimensions and setups in that space. And every few years or so, every few years or so, they have to switch it up. Because again, being oppressed, being in a space where we have been systematically treated unfair, where you can just be picked up and charged with a burglary, with a homicide, picked up and given a kingpin case without no true evidence and sentenced and sit somewhere 30 years before all of a sudden new information pops up and they just kick you out. This is systematic. This has happened to our people time and time again, 99% of the time, to where you have to build whole organizations with lawyers and investigators to prove your innocence. This is our people. You may find one old fate, two, that may go through that. But us is on a regular. You understand? So my thing is prevention. Again, revolutionary liberators are not criminal. They don't break the law. They change the dynamics. You understand? So I don't sit here and gloat and talk about that experience, even though I have a wealth of information on it, knowledge, sat in the law library for a decade, been through every element. Trial, appeals, everything. Shepherdizing cases, knowing some of the dudes' cases who y'all talk about, who are going viral, knowing the lies and the misrepresentations of these dudes in their cases. Yeah, but it ain't about that. She was surprised at how he got there because of how it's set up. So just briefly, I want you to understand these things here so you can kind of sit where she sat with that. Trial courts, okay? We're going to go through it. Trial courts. In a courthouse with multiple courtrooms, at least one courtroom that is larger than the others usually is required for calendar calls, docket calls, arraignments, ceremonies, public meetings, or large multi-defendant trials. These things are structured. These institutional buildings, these structures are put together in a certain way for very specific reasons. So, of course, when the Atlanta situation popped off, it blew their minds. Because there's very, very methodical ways of movement in a courthouse, period. And once, that fiasco happened, they had to do it all over again, nationally. But it's been going on ever since Jonathan Jackson did what he did. Yeah. A young comrade, 17 years old. We could build about that later on in a different class. But ever since Jonathan Jackson attempted to free, liberate prisoners in a courthouse in California, things had to change. So they changed these things. But always be mindful that we are not abreast of certain things by accident, because that didn't have to go viral. We should have, in all reality, never witnessed that, because nobody witnessed when I threw over the table when I was supposedly going to trial. No cameras was there, none of that. That was a simple hearing. Okay? So we are witnessing these things for a specific reason. Okay? High volume initial appearance courts should be located close to the courtroom's main public interest. These courtrooms usually have associated with them offices and workspaces for pre-trial service staff, court clerks, and prosecutor and public defender staff, so that detention decisions can be made quickly. Smaller hearing rooms are suitable for arbitration and mediation and settlement conferences. As the use of arbitration and mediation increases, many more court facilities will need to include such spaces. Courtroom dimensions. The traditional courtroom is rectangular and deeper than it is wide, although modern courtrooms also include round and square shapes. The shape of the courtroom must account for the need for all participants to have clear lines of sight, including the distances between the participants and the angle that they have to turn to view others. Distance can affect acoustics and the ability to observe changes in facial expression or demeanor, body language, communication, acoustics. It is designed, okay, for defendants, for people who are nervous, who are going to be affected by these decisions, to quake, to have the omnipresence, to think that this is the main authority that governs them, not a higher power. Okay? Wide sight angles interfere with concentration and cause physical fatigue, as participants must look back and forth. The litigation area of the courtroom should be designed to allow all participants involved in the proceedings to see and hear each other clearly. Functionally, courtrooms are divided into two zones: the litigation area and the public spectator areas. These areas are generally separated by a bar or low railing. Okay? Now, give you the dimensions. Formal non-jury hearing room, 28 feet in width, 30 feet in depth. Total area, 840 square feet. Jury courtroom, ceremonial and large courtrooms. Listen, this shit is a science. Okay? Now, the public gallery. The size of the public gallery or spectator seating area is often determined by the size of the jury panel. For a 14-person jury, this would usually be 40 to 60 persons. While for a 7-person jury, the panel may consist of 20 to 30 persons. You dig? A typical planning average is 9 to 12 square feet per person. So this is how these things are set up. And they're set up by who? By who? By Freemasons. Masons, bricklayers, contractors, engineers are all involved in this here. Which is why a lot of Masons, Freemasons are tradesmen, right? Like your great-grandfather, your grandfather, your uncles, right? Carpenters and stuff like that, work for transit, stuff like that. Work with their hands, go to the lodge and shit like that. Remember? The honeymooners and shit, always going to the lodge. What do you think that was? That's masonry, Freemasonry. Dealing with scales, symbols, courtroom settings. You understand? Dimensions, which is why she was so appalled and shocked. How did he even get there? Am I getting too deep? Because again, I don't know, my numbers are shifting. Again, am I too deep? Because sometimes when you say certain things, people feel it and act as if we're attacking them. So then they don't like you. So then they rather go and be entertained somewhere else. Is it too deep? Come on now. Let me know. Because in all reality, court cases go on all day, every day. People wild out in court every day. Now, his sister just gave a statement talking about he suffered through mental illness the majority of his life. You know how many MO dudes that we see? That we saw in our experience on Rikers Island, Nassau County, Suffolk County courts, Valhalla. Dudes is off the rocker. You think they not wilding out in courtrooms? Why did we see this one? She says she's surprised that he wasn't clapped. Was that a message to other jurors, to other judges? To other court officers to be ready just in case somebody flinches? Are we being set up to start witnessing dudes get clapped in court? Come on, remember, after Eric Gardner, how many I can't breathes did we see, did we witness? How many I can't breathe lynchings did we witness? Are we about to all of a sudden be privy to dudes wilding out and getting clapped in court? Listen. Listen. Okay? Which is why I always say, stay away from crime. We are not criminals. This is why I always say when the culture have these artists and MCs consistently, these rappers consistently talking about crime and encouraging it and shrugging their shoulders as they get resources from it after they get their grippers dug out, that it is something that is damaging our next generations. You bigging up these dudes and they talking about they bosses and they meaches, big meaches, and they getting this and that and they doing what? As if we were always in criminal lifestyle. We wasn't. It was a time when they weren't even involving our people in crime. Very few of a melanated person. That shit is recent. When they had to, again, seek our people for resource. For the bottom line, to get funds, extra money We wasn't involved in no mafia. Very few. That's early. That's recent history. 30s, 40s, 50s. We weren't criminals. We were trying to figure out how to get out of these conditions. We were fighting back. You watch those Buster Drayton movies? Huh? You seen any of us in them old gangster movies? I'm not talking about from blaxploitation. I'm talking about 30s, 40s, 50s. You seen us in any of that? Because it showed them in a different way. It showed them anti-government. It showed them strength. You ain't seen us in none of that. Hey, Ma, look, I'm king of the world. He had a black dude in his crew? Huh? He clapping dudes through the back of trunks, car trunks. You see us in any of that? Prohibition days? No. They didn't want us involved in anything. Anything that could mean resource, dollars. Nah. When you see us in those days, when you see us in Black Wall Street in Oklahoma, upright, upstanding. You are forced to become criminals. It was forced. So when you see dudes praising it, they're ignorant. That go for all of them. I don't care if it's Wu Gambinos. I don't care if it's Rick Ross. I don't care if it's Jay-Z. It is ignorance. Southern rappers, Jeezy and all that, it's ignorance. To praise the depraved individuals of a society. Just like as we may praise George Washington and Ben Franklin and all these criminals that was let out of the jails from England and the UK to come here and establish this. Criminals. Know your enemy. Okay? So, man, goddamn, woo. Blow your mind. I don't come to class to bullshit. I got a nation to build. But again, as I tell you, every day I'm noticing my subscribers going down. Soon they're going to dead this. And listen, with no support, it's going to be gone. But I'm going to still be around. I got to do what I got to do in my community. You understand? But I know it's coming. Definitely know it's coming. Because there's no popular demand for it. Anyway, let's finish. Okay? So she said he should have been clapped. She's surprised he wasn't clapped. Again, because they know things that you don't know. So let's continue. Understanding the courtroom layout. The courtroom layout is deliberate. It's designed not only to impart the seriousness of the proceedings, but also plays a practical role. The design allows the various participants, judges, jurors, attorneys, bailiffs, staffs, witnesses, and spectators to best hear and view the proceedings according to their roles. Okay? According to their roles. Where the judge sits, the bench. The judge's bench is the raised wooden desk or podium at the front of the courtroom where the judge sits. It's raised so that the judge can control and preside over the entire courtroom. This is to be an authoritarian. But if you have any knowledge of self if you are one who have a belief in higher power, different energies and orders, and universal truths and sciences. You know that man is not the supreme authority. So it gives judges a false identity, a false belief in their self. So they talk spicy. Yeah, they talk spicy from that position. And she caught a headache that day. Yeah. Two things are going to happen. She's going to straighten up and watch her mouth, either that, or she's going to get even more spicy and encourage and order her bailiffs, her staff, to keep their hand on that hammer while she got her hand on her hammer. Right? There's only two things that's going to happen after that headache. But look at how they bring him to court. Before we get into that, let's finish that. Let's finish this. The judge staff sits close by so they can communicate quietly. The witness stand is also next to the judge so that the judge can provide a protective influence over the witnesses. See, she had a homie right there. In the way that courtroom was set up, court clerk was right there. Bailiffs and all that. Which is why it was so surprising that this Black Panther was able to lead the way he did. Like Chikala. And with accuracy. Forehead to the dome. Like Jimmy Superfly Snooker. Or Booker T. Right on the goddamn head. Yeah. Okay. Attorneys and defendants alike shouldn't go near the bench unless they ask for and receive the judge's permission to do so. Okay? The judge in that courtroom is set up like God. Ask for permission, quiet. Everybody's folding to this individual who may not be right and exact. They've been appointed this position. We know that we've seen judges that are crackheads, that are custody. We know that there are judges who were sentencing children, right? Like the judge in Pennsylvania sentencing children to jail as part of a business. We do know that, right? Yeah, okay. But somebody pushed this authority on people. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Generally, only attorneys will be permitted to go up to the bench. Forbidden territory includes the well. This is what they call a well. What do we usually associate with well? Water flowing, water still contained, right? Which is the space between the counsel table and the bench, where the courtroom clerk and the court reporter may sit, okay? Where the defendant and attorneys sit, the counsel table. During trial or pre-trial proceeding, defendants sit with their attorneys at the counsel table, directly in front and facing the judge's bench. Now, he was standing, which means she was speaking directly to him. I was never allowed to stand. Even after I blew trial and they asked you to give you a statement. And that statement is very necessary for parole, for sentencing, for appeals, or people don't understand what they use that statement for a lot of times. And they wow out and do a lot of shit that hurts them later on. All right. Courtroom etiquette. Should the defendant sit or stand? Typically, once the judge calls a case, the defendant and attorneys move out of the gallery and pass the bar to the counsel table. Defendants should sit or stand as directed by their attorneys if they have counsel, or by the judge, courtroom clerk, or bailiff. The custom is different in different proceedings in different courtrooms. Okay? Now, you know, this is how shit move, right? Video and remote criminal case, court appearances. Video conference and remote court appearances have been more commonplace since the COVID pandemic. And all this shit. Now, his sister just made a statement saying that he's been having mental issues for years. And again, we don't praise the dude because, like we said in class previously, dude has several domestic violence cases, incidents. So we don't know who he pounded on. We don't know if it's the girl. We don't know if it's the kids. We can't, dude ain't no superhero. You understand? Though he has superhuman abilities, he ain't no hero. So we're not praising him. We're just dissecting this shit. Yeah. Because he could be a real MFer. But we looking now at how Judge Judy said he should have been clapped, and she's surprised he hadn't been clapped. You did? We're looking at how they brought him back to court. It's shocking to some people who have seen the photograph. Very shocking. Sort of looking, if you've never seen it before, like Hannibal Lecter. Right? People have taken it back, like, oh my goodness, what happened? Oh, what? What is that? But for me, it was regular. What people see and what I see, and this is why I have this class, so you can see through my experience and through my view what actually takes place. Okay? I'm looking at the Negro that they got right behind him. Because that's the thing that I want y'all to see. That we are consistently oppressed. We are consistently divided. We are consistently in a space of disorganization and at the foot of anybody's oppression because we got niggers like that Mandingo, sitting there, standing there, strong and firm, looking at him with all hate and disgust in his eyes. When the OFA officers is just chilling. When I tell you that the rat, the snitch, is very, very crucial to how we move, to where our freedom is, our liberation is. And when I say that violence is definitely necessary, because we got these type of people to contend with. Just like they made this bounty hunter dude one of the most viewed people on YouTube for years. It's Black Nick, bringing people to jail. Slave catcher. Mind blowing. But again, to each his own. I'm from a very different school. So again, you watch that officer, look at him, how he's staring him down. Ready to act even before master tell him to. Like a rabid old dog. Just like most melanated people are when they have this belief of getting to the bag, when they have this belief of doing deals, when they have this belief of brand ambassadors, when they have this belief of being held in high regards by Whitey, he's standing there ready to hurt this brother who is physically unable to do anything. Now, why I say it's shocking to y'all and not to me is because I went to court like that every single day. Every single day. Except for the spit mask, right? Which is leading me to believe that when he was giving her the business, you know, doing like Mean Gene Okerlund said, when you can't see him and they're under the damn ring, oh, and he's down there and he's giving her the business. He was giving her the business because you heard him say, get off her. Hey, cut it out, get off her. Giving her the business down there, right? And then he was hooking and doing what he had to do, right? He must have been spitting. So they got the spit mask on him. That's only for dudes who do that, right? You got dudes that was running around Rikers Island doing all that. Spitting on people, making these urine and feces bombs, throwing it on COs and all that, coming to court with it, wilding out, so you get a spit mask. But those cylinders, those are the mittens that I spoke about in my book. There was a time around 1994 when Rikers Island had so many cuttings that they changed the security guidelines to start alerting staff to who they had amongst them. So they started giving out these red ID cards. You had an orange ID, which means you were anybody, just a regular degular, right? Which means you could eat any kind of food. You had blue ID cards, which said that you were halal, Muslim, right? Then you had the white ID cards, which meant you were special diet, sick, diabetic, things like that. And then, which was funny to me, they started giving that to the Hasidic community. They got special diet too. They got kosher. They started doing that. But the red IDs were for people who were weapons carriers, who had stabbed somebody, who had cut somebody. Right? Whether there was another detainee or was staff. And with the explosion of the Bloods on Rikers Island, they had to figure out different ways to alert people, right? Because you had some dudes that was real quiet and just got busy. So, lo and behold, I won't go into it, I end up with a red ID. So with a red ID, that means you went to court with leg irons, around the wrist, hands in these mittens, tied up, shackled with a box, and you stayed like that. From early in the morning to however long it took them to take you to court and bring you back. Now, if you've been on Rikers Island or any of the borough houses in New York City, you know that's an all-day thing. You know that's 5:30 in the morning. You may get shackled and all that about 7:30, get on that bus. Then they started having the red ID bus, which means they put you in your own cage, and you go and you stay like that all day until you had to go to the bathroom or eat. So them cylinders was kind of, for me, I'm like, that shit is meatball shit that he had on because he had a lot of room. We had no room. But yet and still, ingenuous and intelligent as we are for New York City individuals, we found ways to get cuff keys and to get out of the mittens and, you know, made things a little bit more comfortable when you go to court. You don't wear pants with belt loops in it. You wear your sweats and all that to give you some room because you can't stay like this when somebody else know how to get out. Yeah. You might get your head blown off. So I went to court like that every day. Every day. All day. You dig? So I was surprised to see that they was doing it like that in another state. You dig? But this, if this isn't reminiscent of chattel slavery, of the prison industrial complex, of how dire our conditions are and how far removed we are from political organizing, from having a true united front, then I don't know what else to show you. I really don't. These are our conditions. This is what you're setting the youth up for. Now, she said he had mental health issues for years. And what was used to address that? The courts gave him specific programs that couldn't reach him. He graduated from 2. It didn't help. Why? Because society on a whole doesn't care about allowing melanated people to be integrated into a society where we can be great, where we can live our potential as beings, as human beings. That's why they're always telling you some aliens is coming or some other weird shit. To get away from the fact that they, in this project, has failed humanity. Again, I keep telling you, these people are enemies of nature. So they damn sure don't care about you or us. Which is why we have to be more diligent in getting away from the dumb shit, the snickering, the dancing, the cheeks out. Male and female. Goddamn sissy ass dudes is just too much. Your minds is gone. Which is why, yeah, we have to do that class on Biggie. I have to. Because, we can't keep allowing all those suspect lyrics that Biggie was saying to just go by unnoticed. Nah. Got to start putting the ties together. You understand? Because none of that, at the end of it all, is doing anything to help. That's why I don't entertain silly shit. You understand? I'm not with it. I'm not with it. I'm consistent. Go through the years. Go through the classes. I'm consistent in my call to arms and unity and separation. And they're not yearning to be cuddled and coddled by these individuals. Because I've been to courts like that. Locked in a cage. Within a cage. And should anything happen to that bus, I was dead. I know what it's like to have to live every second of every day not knowing whether or not you're going to survive it. That's what jail is. You don't know if you ever coming up out of that cell. At any given time, in any facility or penitentiary in this country, they can lock the damn doors, the gates, and never come back. And that is the end of you. You sit and rot. That's it. So keep trying to be lit. Keep trying to spin the block. Keep trying to hustle and selling death to your people because you have been conditioned to do so. That is dumb beyond dumb. If you're not a liberator, a revolutionary, fighting for you and your people. If you're just a criminal, that's the goddamn lowest of the low. Anybody who encourages it is even lower. They don't never have to let you out. They never have to open the gates, and that is just you. That's it. End of your story. And if nobody learned that from just one day, just don't take years. Just one day. If you don't have that awareness of self to say, yo, this is it. I'm done off. Then you got to be stupid. Have to be. And that is why he got the superhuman strength to jump over the dimensions. You understand the dimension, the size, the width, the depth? Come on. Got up on that. You understand? Because it bubbled up, and at that point, he found the awareness of himself and his conditions to say, nah, you will not do this to me and not feel something. That is the lesson in that. Judge Judy said she's surprised he wasn't clapped. I'm telling y'all now, be mindful of what we watch, what we witness. Old cracker. I'm telling you. So now that we went through that court, let's go through the Jonathan Majors court. He was so shocked and appalled in his interview. Man, listen, we already past an hour, and I know I got to go. I got to stay in this. I'm going to be late. I got to stay in this, though. Fund this war effort, y'all. I got to do this. In his surprise of being found guilty, I'm wondering, where the hell you been at? I get it. You're in your mid-30s, but you not no dummy. But again, people are very ignorant to the court system. They're definitely ignorant to New York City, especially New York County. You do shit in Manhattan and go to trial. Man, those are the worst juries ever. But again, when you are raised believing in this shit, believing in justice, believing in the mysticism, believing that your ass could play a superhero or a supervillain, and that shit holds weight in the court of law, shh. Yeah. So in his interview, he said he was surprised. Now again, if he would have had me, like a lot of these, excuse me, celebrities fail to realize they don't keep no real people around them. Why? Because the industry forces real people out. Right? You can't be real and be in an industry. You can't be real and be around people who are striving to be A-list. Ain't that right, D. Haven? You get forced out. You get pushed out because you begin to make sense. You begin to tell people, nah, man, they supposed to pay you for all that. Nah, man, why are you doing that? Can't be real around. So these people are really out there on their own. And everybody that's around them are involved in the institution of what the entertainment industry is. Everybody's included. It's Grippergate party for everybody. Yeah. So when you get caught up, you're getting this stupid ass advice, even from lawyers. Oh yeah, lawyers is mean, Grippergate. What? Woo, lawyers is disgusting. So they had him believing he was going to beat this case. An Ofe woman. Press charges. Now, in the interview, you can see just how naive this A-list Hollywood dude was. Didn't understand agents. Didn't understand what he was around. And now, I bet you, he's more aware of himself, right? Like how I'm aware of myself. I know when people coming at me. I know when it's trolls. I know when they're being sent. Women included. So yeah, you're going to get tested. Trust and believe. I'm more than a man. I got knowledge of self. So yeah, people get tested. He didn't know that. He figured the test was what the Ofes around him told him about your acquired income, your riches, your status and notoriety. See, they fill your head with all this bullshit. And you begin to stop thinking black. If you ever thought black. Usually they pick people who don't. The average melanated person in Hollywood don't think twice about your black asses, no matter how much the characters that they play seem to be in tune, right? Yeah. Yeah, all that, man. We could go into all that. These people are the least black. That's why I look at people like, y'all like that person? Do you watch their Instagram? Do you see them live? Do you see their interviews? They code switch and they'll never come back. They don't care about you. Do you see who they got around them? Go to their pages and see how many old faces in the background. They're besties, they're best friends, they're confidants, they're business partners. You don't see a sea of pepper, mad salt. But we the haters. Katt Williams included. Acting like this nigga some prophet. They're gonna cut that out. But anyway, getting back to Jonathan. He was in love. This old stringy hair, olive oil looking thing. Maybe he was infatuated. He thought he was with Kill Bill. Right? Now seeing how Uma Thurman looked after she got picked up, stabbed up and all that and still was fighting. She don't look too much different than Uma Thurman. When he was in love, she was in his grippers. And he must have tasted hers because he's sure in these writings, in these texts, was conflicted, even thought about taking himself out. Woo! That's mental illness for your ass. And he said it in the interview. Yeah. Come on, man. The whole trial and interview was a lynching. It was dehumanizing. It was humiliating to show you that we can take this big, strong buck, propel him to the heights of Hollywood, and gut him spiritually and mentally in one instant. Now, when I'm going back and forth over what he was saying about the case and what we know about the case, the main thing that stuck out for me, as I said in class before, who the hell was this Ofe? I didn't pay attention to the fact that they said she had dislocated finger. That was the injury, plus scrapes and bruises and all that. And I questioned that. I said, hold up. Now, I done watched professional football for years until Colin Kaepernick and the strike and us not trying to pay attention and boycotting. seen many college football players, basketball players, professional NFLers dislocate a finger, they take their ass out the game. That's a wrap. Very few were strong to snap it back in and keep playing. You mean this little skinny old fake broad was chasing him around Manhattan with a dislocated finger? Who the hell was she? Come on, man. Come on. That sounds like somebody that might have been on meth or on that cocaine. Ain't no way in hell. A chick that's about 130 pounds gonna have an incident where she got pounded out and finger dislocated, run as fast as she ran for as many blocks as she ran. Now her ass gonna be running somewhere else. And all of a sudden, they find her in the room. Come on, yo. Now she hurt. After the fact that he got away. My thing is, just like in the Meg Thee Stallion joint, just like in any of these joints, these drivers, limo drivers, are they testifying in these spots? I can always tell you when it comes to Grippergate in Hollywood, there are people who need to be interviewed. And for some reason, we never hear from them. Never hear from them. Where was the limo driver? Was he interviewed by the D's? Was he interviewed by the grand jury? Was his statements part of the pretrial hearings? Did he come to trial? Where's his interview? I'm telling you, Grippergate is deep. It's deep. So now he was so in love with Karim that again they had to question. And look at this. Why did you want her to be like Michelle Obama or Coretta Scott King? What did you mean by that? He couldn't stand tall on it. Instead of saying, yeah, damn it. She ain't crack. She an old fay. I need her to be more melanated. Especially in public. You know, I was trying to, whoa. Humiliation. Stripping away integrity. Stripping away any defiance. Okay? Crying. Covering that eye. We'll get back to that. Okay? Yeah. Like so many of y'all conspiracy theorists and people believe in the spooky and all this other stuff, he covered that eye. Katt has covered the eye too. All of them up in the whip. Okay? But the thing that really, really got to me, even after his praise of Megan Good, was when she asked him, you believe you will work in Hollywood again? And he said, God willing. Woo! If God is willing, inshallah to Allah, that you will work in the demonic environment of Hollywood. that if if the greatest power over all to some belief is willing, if it's permissible, that you will work in Hollywood again, that Hollywood, these people, Grippergate, Epstein Islanders and all that you would pray, submit to whatever you believe in, whatever God it is, to go into hell? That's deep. That is deep. It lets you know where melanated folks is at. And like I put out on my little meme, it is crazy for our people to continuously praise and say that they are blessed by successes, by trinkets, by awards of an institution that is factual, practicing rituals of demons and things that are not holy. But you're blessed. Hey, go on. Take these awards. First of all, I'd like to thank God. Oh, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Woo! And then you wonder why their lives are in turmoil. Because if that isn't using God's name in vain, I don't know what is. Whoa! You like to thank the Lord and Savior. Unless they believe in or they know something we don't know. I mean, Jesus Christ isn't God. That's just their Lord and Savior. And they're thanking their Lord and Savior for getting the Grammy, for getting the Oscar, for getting the Emmy, the Golden Globe. This is what they're doing. So when they're bent over on the couch, or in the trailer, or on the set, or in the costume room, getting their grippers blown out, that's God's work. So she asked him that, and this is what he said: God willing, I deserve to be back in Hollywood. Which, from somebody who's aware and woke, wouldn't want no part of Hollywood or that God. But again, my subscription stayed down. I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, we can't have it both ways. Because nothing that Katt has exposed, I haven't. Nothing in that. Nothing in that. What he claimed to expose, or y'all claim to expose, wasn't shit that the average YouTuber haven't been saying for years already. No solution. But see, in the mix of that is just them jumping shift. That is just them kicking people out of the whip and shifting the money to a different layer. We've been having that ever since Sidney Poitier was the dude. Got rid of Paul Robeson. You know, shit like that. They got different lanes and ways to make you really believe that, nah, this is who y'all want. More urban, more ghetto, more real. This is who you got. I know they in the whip too. Katt in the whip? Y'all think Katt not in the whip? And expose nothing. All he did was affirm a certain population's beliefs. These people been telling on themselves for years. We watched Steve Harvey sit in front of Monique and say, you got to do what you got to do. We watched that. And most conscious people was like, look at this coon. What? We watched it. We knew who he was. Nobody care about no said. But in the mix of his diatribe, he was going left and right. No solutions. None. But when he started talking, see, the more they talk, the more you know. I didn't know he was JW. That opens up a whole different lane for me. He's Jehovah's Witness. Which he would have to say if he put the connection of Prince in there. Ooh, yeah. And then, when you're talking about Jehovah's Witnesses, is not far from Scientology, which we know runs Hollywood. If you think that you're going to a Katt Williams show somewhere and you don't go through Ticketmaster or one of these other agencies to purchase your ticket, you are sadly mistaken. Oh, he's in the whip. If you can sell out arenas, you're in the whip. You're just in a different lane. They got levels and layers to it. Oh, yeah. They ain't exposing shit. Let us not forget. He's been on almost every major television show on urban TV. You do remember he was with Heavy D on Heavy D's show too, right? Y'all do know that this man has consistently worked in Hollywood, right? You do know that. So when these people try to act like they ain't in it, they in it. They just at a different level, different branches. And they ain't really exposing shit. It's like they just asked Vivica about what Taraji's been saying, and she ain't say shit. I haven't experienced that. That you was on the same show. But see, Vivica's been in the whip. So she not going to say nothing. You on the same show. So if Taraji got beat, you got beat, Vivica. That's why your ass is doing commercials with Ice-T now. But you see, y'all got to listen and observe if it means that much to you. Again, when we're speaking about liberation, when we're speaking about Pan-Africanism, when we're speaking about globalization and making sure that we're in a different space, we wasting time on this bullshit. We know what this entertainment is. But I'm saying for the sake of it is what it is and people asking us to have class and build on, we got to do it. But Katt is an op. Hood Center highlights, much appreciated. For the super, he's an op. He's in the whip. It sound cool. Why? Because you like him. I'm not liked, so people don't like it. My like base is small. But they like Katt. He's funny. He seems to be someone that they pick on. Remember, the victim. The victim always gets the benefit of the doubt. We ain't tell y'all nothing slick. It's just funny that all that with him came out after Lamont, Demond Wilson, after his interview started getting viral. And he said all of them get bent over. All of a sudden, that shit stopped getting steam because he was telling you who he was. I'm a vet with the armed forces. I came back and got into this thing, and they wanted me to do certain things. I wouldn't do it, which is why you all of a sudden didn't see me anymore. But he said all of them. And in that, people was like, yo, did you hear Lamont talk? The elder. All of a sudden, Katt comes out, you don't hear it. The viral video loses steam. And now, because of Katt, everybody gets a boost. YouTubers, TikTokers, IG, everybody. But what's the solution? He didn't give you a solution. He didn't give you actual factuals. The only reason that we still saying it is true is because none of them responded and said he's a liar. Because they can't. Because we know. We know Ludacris grippers is loose. We know that. We know that. We know that. You don't get A-list with absolutely no thespian background. You don't get into nothing like that. You know how many talented, multi-talented people we have all in our communities, and they don't get shots? Why? Why they don't get in the whip? Multi-talented. Shit, I'm multi-talented. You know how difficult it is for me to switch from politics to entertainment to spirituality to helping the community work all by myself? Why am I losing subscribers than gaining? Why do I get minimal support? But clowns that's playing with their meat in front of TV and taking off their shirt and dancing around, playing with Ofays and acting fool. Or having access to others in the whip. Or doing numbers. Come on, man. Rising up. Katt said he's a Jehovah's Witness. With ties to Prince, but lived with whores. Didn't say he was pimping them whores. Didn't say he was macking those whores. Glazed questioning. Surface level questioning. Were you macking those whores? How did you know to create what we seen was Money Mike? If you weren't macking them, were they in your grippers? Come on. Were you with a bunch of renegades? Listen, I know the life. If you weren't macking them, but you were living with them, they had to have a pimp or a mac unless they were renegading. And if they were renegading, all bets is off. I mean, they was Georgia-ing your ass, Katt. Being around a bunch of ladies of the evening, a bunch of track stars. It was Georgia-ing you. Come on now. But y'all listening to this shit. Listen, I got to go. I really do. Gotta go. But again, don't believe in me. Believe in my belief in you. Believe in my belief in you. We will win. You got to leave this shit alone. All that conditioning of believing and thinking and what we saw, what we was raised in was right and exact is false. There's a universal order of science and math to this shit. You got to love yourself enough to notice your enemies. So salute. Thank my classroom assistants for holding it down again. But be all wise and civilized. And if you really enjoying this class, yo, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on, but there's something going on. All you need to do is just increase. You can't hold this for yourself. You got to share it. Let dudes know, the subscriptions got to go up. I'm losing them every hour. I know when I close this out and go back, it's going to go down another 10. I'm like, what is that? So again, be safe. Make sure you come back to class with all 10 fingers and 10 toes. All peace and power. to the people of the struggle. All peace and power to the people of the struggle. Welcome to struggle. You sorry you late, you present. Ronnie Morning Coffee. How you late with a name like Coffee? 55.